Yo, 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 welcome to the You Feel Me podcast. How's everybody doing today? I
What's up?
hope
What's up?
everybody having blessed. What's going on, Wayne? How you doing, my homie?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. Great to see another week, man. Glad to see y'all back, man.
Yeah, man. I hope everyone's having a good week. The week before whenever it is, what Christmas or something.
Can you believe that though?
Kwanzaa,
Like Christmas
whatever
is
you
like a week away,
celebrate.
7 days, 7 days away, man. That's wild.
Yeah, we almost been on for we've almost had our podcast for almost 6 months now.
Yeah, bro.
Yep, it's coming up
And
on 6 months. Yep.
yeah.
So yesterday we dropped the episode for is it okay? Talking about do you listen to R. Kelly?
Hmm.
So we I really like the way that we started that episode with that
Yeah.
song about R. Kelly.
Bro.
Uh
And that
if
was
you
like recent, right?
nah, this was I think it was like couple yeah,
Right,
recently.
yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
years ago. That song it's called Passports. The song actually has a name.
Ooh.
So check out that episode. Do you still listen to R. Kelly? It's out right now
Hmm.
on the You
Hmm.
Film podcast on our YouTube page. So yeah, or you can listen to it on any of the podcast networks out there, Overcast, Spotify, all of that.
Anyway, your free podcast is sold.
Word. And I just wanted to say that that nigga's crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to say R. Kelly's bugged out. So
Mm.
all right, man. This has been a really interesting week, I would say. I like to go ahead and start over with
I,
Urban Meyer.
I think it's been pretty boring, man. But
Really? I
yeah, ain't
think
nothing really happened.
I mean Urban Meyer got fired. I think
True. Urban Meyer, and that was a long time coming, man. I'm surprised he lasted this long. To be honest with you, I think he should have been out of there after that whole, in the club with the other chick scandal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
just embarrass your whole family, embarrass the whole organization of Jacksonville. Like, come on, man. I'm not
I
saying you got to
mean,
be perfect, but
so do you think like so he's getting fired without any money because he's getting fired for what they call
oh,
cause.
hmm,
So when it's like a cause, I guess in his contract, if he gets fired for doing something demonstrative to the team, you
hmm,
don't get paid. So he got fired, and he was one of the first coaches in my lifetime that I ever saw that got fired. And it wasn't like we appreciate him setting this, being our team and yada yada. Nah, like Shah Khan came out with some real ignorant ass shit. That's like, yo, get off the team. I told him back that he had to earn our trust back, and he just did not
hmm,
deliver.
hmm.
And like anyone that doesn't follow the NFL, Urban Meyer was a football coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, statistically, is one of the worst teams ever. Now they
Ever. Come on. They won a Super Bowl, didn't they?
no,
Who am I thinking
uh,
about then?
I don't know. Tampa Bay, not
No, no,
them.
no, no.
So they're a recent team, right? They're a recent team. I think they only been around like 22 years. And they had some all right teams. Brian Leftwich used to be their quarterback.
I remember
They
that.
had a couple other cats too. They've had some okay players. Jalen Ramsey used to play for them. So they've had stars, but the problem is that they can't really get the team right. And the other thing is that they're one of the only majority minority owned teams in the NFL because Shah Khan is from Indian descent, Middle Eastern descent.
Right.
But he's like, that guy super duper duper rich, billionaire on top of a billionaire. So he runs the team, but Urban Meyer got hired this year. And he is the true example of getting fired on your day off because this nigga, the reason why he got fired is crazy. Let me go down the list. You mind if I give a quick synopsis of what he did since he got hired,
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that because I got a question. I got a couple questions on the list, but go ahead.
All right, cool. So when he first got hired as an NFL coach, you got to build your whole staff, right?
Hmm.
So he hired a strength and conditioning coach from Iowa who had reports out about him before he got hired about him being
Hmm.
racist. I'm talking about
Right.
to the point where he like, yeah, lift that nigga and treating his black players like slaves and like saying ignorant racist things to him. Also like other races as well. Even white people calling them crackers and saying all these racist things to white folk. So
Right.
this coach,
He probably did that to kind of offset. the nigger calls. You know what I mean? So hey, man, I make fun of everybody. You know, that
Yeah,
whole
you
little
know,
thing.
you're gonna talk about everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was just like blatantly just out the window with his. Urban Meyer hires him when he gets questioned by the Jacksonville media, which big up to them because they didn't give him like no leeway on none of this shit. When he gets questioned by them, he says, "Well, he was never racist to me. he was
Which
he in the interview he had nothing but praise. I asked people and they gave him all praise. 2 weeks later, they fired the coach because the coach had all these allegations. All right, boom. Couple weeks after that, he gets in trouble because he's sitting there having practices that are against the COVID guidelines and against the actual NFL guidelines that help with like concussions. So the team and him got fined for that because he was breaking the rules. He was basically running this shit like a college program. Then, you know, he draft well before that he drafted ETN, which was a running back from Clemson when they already had one of the best running backs in the league that they paid nothing. So you just draft another cat at this position, which is fine. You're trying to get more talent because the team don't got a lot of talent. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, whatever. Then the biggest thing that comes out, the team loses a game for the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. They lose it by this much. You can tell the team is getting better. He says, fuck it. He goes to his restaurant that he has in Ohio, because he was a coach of Ohio State for years. He goes there and he ends up having a finger banging moment that goes viral on the internet with this young lady while his wife is there watching the kids and posting up on Instagram of her watching the grandkids. I'm sorry. He apologizes for that after he told his team that it was a misunderstanding and he was drunk and this girl basically like influenced him. Then he came out, and said, okay, I was lying. My bad. The team gets worse. They start to win a little bit, but they start to get worse and worse and worse. Then a report comes out that he benches his running back, and the quarterback comes out and was like, yo, stop benching him. We need him. He's the best player on our team right now.
Right.
Then it's an allegation comes out this week that he kicked the kicker.
Yep. That's
and
what
the kicker stood up. This is basically what they said. He kicked the kicker and he said, come on, motherfucker, make some kicks. Motherfucker. And the kicker stood up like, hey, motherfucker, don't be kicking me. I'll knock you out. What you think this is? And then the next day, the coach gets mad like, yo, if you want to talk to me like that, talk to me behind doors. I'm still the coach. I run this ball club. Fuck the I kicked you. Fuck the I cussed you out. The fact that you replied to me just made you look crazy. All of that, and they was just like, you know what? We done with this motherfucker. He got fired after 13 weeks. He is the first coach that I can remember, and I think they said this too on ESPN. He's the first coach that's been fired after 13 weeks.
Yeah.
That wasn't an interim coach.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer has won multiple national championships. He rebuilt Florida. He rebuilt Ohio State. But he treated the NFL like they was college kids, them players. And these motherfuckers make more money than you. Most of them make more money than you. You don't treat them with respect. You don't treat them like men. I don't know what he was doing with these kids, but he's been fired from every place basically that he worked at. So
he's given a lot of second chances too. Look like,
winning does a lot. And my main point that I want to say about this whole thing is this. When you chasing success, sometimes you do stupid shit and you make really bad decisions because you're trying to succeed. I'm not talking about Urban Meyer. I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars and Shah Khan. This man wants to win for Jacksonville so bad that he's hiring motherfuckers that he think that just got a record of winning, not knowing what their personals is like, not knowing that this dude got little girls he be finger banging on the side, not knowing that he don't got no scruples, not knowing that he's a piece of shit lying motherfucker, not knowing that he treats people like trash, not knowing none of this shit. And that's only a little bit of what he did. So, all right, I broke all that down. Wayne, what you think, my G?
All right, man. So I got a little bit to say here too. First and foremost, I got to fuck with you a little bit, man. I just got to fuck with you a little bit. First off, nigga, it's Jaguars, not Jaguars. Nah, nigga. But I always Jaguars. No, I like elongated. It's
Oh,
Jaguars. You like Jaguars, but that's the way you speak though. Man, I had to fuck with you for a second on that
fuck
one,
you, man.
man.
How about that?
But also I wanted to you kind of hit on it at the last point you made. I was watching Skip and Shannon, and Shannon had made that same point, saying that like he comes from the college. Excuse me, he comes
Yep.
from college football. He's messing with 18 and 19-year-olds. Like you come to the NFL, you mess with 25, 30-year-old grown ass men that's making paper. Those 18 and 19-year-olds that you're trying to mold, excuse me, into millionaires, they're the ones that want to be in that position of the people that you're coaching now. So clearly there's a disconnect. Obviously, there's a disconnect. He just doesn't know how to communicate well with people after a certain age. Like you say, he kicked the kicker. I think that's because the kicker maybe have been young, because he was a kicker. Like he's not a wide receiver, he's not a running back. He kicked the kicker because the only thing the kicker really does is kick. You know what I mean? So I can fuck with the kicker, but you can't fuck with these grown ass, old ass men like they're 18 and 19-year-olds, man. You're trying to get them in, whip them into shape. You can't whip, a nigga who's been in the NFL for 5 years already into shape. They ain't shape, nigga. You should show them what plays that you got,
Yep.
Also, I wanted to ask you about how they hired his name was Chris Doyle, right? The strength coach. How was he able, like the coaches can hire anybody they want, like they don't have to go into the higher ups, the general manager, the Shad Khans. He didn't have to speak to them at all.
So it depends on the organization, right? I would say if it's the Cowboys, Jerry Jones gonna be like, hold the fuck up. Nah, we ain't hiring this. Like, nah, fuck out here. Cause Jerry Jones think he the coach. But like for the Jaguars, they so inept, man. They so used to losing that he probably was like, go ahead, Urban, do what you want to do. Hire your staff. And that's how that dude slid
Can't
in.
get no worse.
Right. And then as soon as Khan heard about it, he was like, oh, nah, man, we can't keep this nigga around. What are you doing? And that's, how that just happens.
And on the flip, real quick, Shad Khan, however, that his son is Tony Khan.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan owns AEW, All Elite Wrestling.
Yep.
I don't know if you knew that. You made that connection there too. Just some wrestling shit I had to throw on y'all real quick.
He's also real crazy on Twitter.
Who?
Tony
Khan?
Yeah, he's bugged
out. When it comes to
AEW,
man, he'll go in on WWE, man.
I like him.
And it's respectful type of shit. You know what I mean?
Like they don't, he's trying to build a brand.
Exactly. And like when he came out here to Atlanta, like he's just like so with it. He comes out with the crowd. He comes out and speaks to everybody. He's not really he really shouldn't be on camera. He's kind of a goof, kind of a ditz. You know what I mean? He's all like, yeah, y'all want to see another match? Yeah. You know what I mean? One of those kind of guys, but fuck it.
Excited. I mean, shit.
Yeah. But also, I feel like Urban Meyer, he's stuck in college mode. Like he just absolutely, come on, because there's one other thing that you forgot. The motherfucker hired Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah, for what? Tim Tebow.
For what? Right.
All right. So
what can Tim Tebow still do, my nigga? Please explain to me.
All right. Tim Tebow. I think he hired Tim Tebow to be first of all, Tim Tebow never played tight end in his life. He was always a quarterback. So in his like I'm talking about, most people that play football professionally, they started that shit while they're like 5. You know what I'm saying? His whole time he been a quarterback. He played baseball. He played some other shit, but he never was a tight end. He never was a receiver. He never was a running back. He never was none of this shit. They lived down the block from each other in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And him and Tim Tebow are crazy close because Tim Tebow was his coach when Tim Tebow won the national championship and the Heisman and all that shit. So they was just, they gang. So he hit him up like, hey, yo, bro, I know how to play some tight end right now, my nigga. I'm catching balls. This nigga got big. He was like, fuck it.
Yep.
So he was like, I give him a shout out. People hated that in that organization, like the players, because they like, yo, there is so many more talented motherfuckers than Tim Tebow that's trying to get back into the NFL or trying to get into the NFL. Young bulls. Yeah. And you going to get this motherfucker a chance for what? Because he going to help the culture? What culture? The fuck you talking about?
It's like 10 years, right? Like he hasn't played football in like what?
It's been 10 years since he got cut by the Jets.
Okay.
He got cut by the Jets. So he got cut by the Patriots. That's the one thing. Tim Tebow was given all the chances in the world.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like it's because he's like, a Christian white male, and
Mhm.
it's scary, But I guess Michael Vick got a couple chances too. But
No, no,
goddamn,
not
like
like him. Not like him. Michael could have
Michael
still
Vick can
played.
play, nigga. Yeah, Mike can
Listen.
play.
No, I think Urban Meyer kind of sees Tim Tebow as like a younger him, like in terms of actually playing football, because you say he got so many different chances. Like he got it with the Broncos.
Yep.
He had one decent season or one decent play
Yep.
with the Broncos. That didn't go over well. But he, like you said, he kept getting chance after chance after chance, just like Urban Meyer has gotten chance after chance. So I don't know. Aside from them being best friends and neighbors, I think that he really sees something in Tim Tebow to keep giving him another chance. But no.
I think Tim's a great leader. He's an orator. You know what I mean? He is based in faith. I remember Tim Tebow. I think he could have been a great pastor. I don't know why he didn't go into that. You know what I mean? It's more of that, like being maybe he will, but he's a good commentator. He definitely knows how the college game. But like, it's just different, man. Like the NFL is different. And you giving a chance to this dude that already got money. You taking a chance from a dude that's just trying to get on. And it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just see, like, this motherfucker had no clue what was going on in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so go ahead, man. You got some more about this motherfucker?
No, I'm good on Urban Meyer, man. I'm glad the nigga's gone. I'm glad the nigga's fired. I'm guessing Leftwich is gonna be the interim, huh?
No, not Leftwich. Leftwich is the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. People want him to be hired as the actual coach. It's this guy named Brian Benemy, I think his name is. He is offensive coach. He's going to be the interim coach right now. I would say, we're not a football podcast or anything of that nature, but I would say watch out for him, because the Jaguars, they might be able to win a couple games when they don't got goofy.com over there fucking up everything. So, I just hated the way
So you think they'll hire a new coach before the season is up, or
they'll wait till the end of the season. I think they won't wait to like see what Tampa Bay does and see what the Chiefs do, because they're gonna hire like one of those coaches probably. I know it's gonna probably be an African American hire, just because all the racist weird shit that happened last year with this motherfucker. And there's a lot of great coaches out there that's not tapped. You know what I mean? That are, of African American descent or Latino descent, or shit. There's even some great Asian assistant coaches out there that's not given a chance. They keep giving a chance to these goofy ass motherfuckers, and you see what happens. So the thing is, with Urban and the firing, it kind of does fuck it up for other college coaches, because it's just like, yo, don't hire Dabo Sweeney. You don't never know what's really going on. That transition is hard, man. It's hard to go from you being the highest paid motherfucker on the team to you being one of the lowest paid motherfuckers on the team, and these people still supposed to respect you. Man, the wide receiver I think he got $48 million this offseason. And this motherfucker making like $2 million this year. And you trying to talk to him about something, talking about motherfucker do these sit-ups. Hey, get the fuck out of my face. Just like the movie about the Cleveland Indians. What was that movie called? About the baseball
Major
team.
League.
Major League. Remember when the coach, he was like, see, calisthenics is not in my contract. That motherfucker threw the contract, pulled his dick out, and pissed on it, and then walked away. What the fuck you talking about? Get the fuck out of my face. It's not like that for real. Like, you can't do that, man. You got to show a lot of respect to these grown-ass men. Yeah. These are grown-ass men. That's certainly vets, man. And I really like Trevor Lawrence, because he came out against his coach like, it's too much drama, man. He said it. He was like, it's too much drama. How can we focus and win with all this drama? Right. And Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be Andrew Luck or like, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. And he sucks. Oh, no. He's number one pick. He can't regress. Nigga, how's he throwing 4 interceptions against bum teams? So, nah, got to go. Got to go, bro.
Gotcha.
All right, man. So, fuck him. That was a good Christmas present to the whole Florida nation. So, shout out to the
Jaguars. And that's another thing. They're pretty much just saying like, yo, this season's done. It's over. They give up.
Their record is done. They're already out, basically out the playoff race. They fucked. Yeah. So they beat, and that's crazy. They beat the Dolphins. They beat some good teams. They beat the Bills. You know what I'm saying? The defense is solid. It's just really hard, man. We got shitty leadership to do anything in this world. I don't give a fuck how much talent you got. Sometimes talent can overweight leadership, but if you don't got nobody at the head that's on point, everything will be fucked up. And that's everything in life, bro. You got to have a clear leader, you know what I mean, to be able to do anything. And organization. And that motherfucker, they ain't had neither, because he was finger banging.
Hey
At
man,
the
he had
steak
this. Hey,
restaurant.
look, man, his
Why
head
is
was
one
in the right place. It was
yeah,
just at the wrong time. That's
right.
it.
He was in the right place at the wrong time.
Yep.
Thank God for camera phones. That nigga would never got caught. But
Goofy
anyway,
nigga. How do you not know about camera phones, man? Oh, you gotta be smarter. You gotta be smarter, man.
told
Come
you,
on.
man. That's why, right now on BeFearlessMerch.com, we got a beanie that says think. And I just
Right,
want you
man.
to think, motherfucker, before you do
That's some good
something.
promo right there, man.
Think, nigga, because you
Think, my
fucking
G.
up. You about to do something stupid. Think, nigga. All right, man. So
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be one of my favorite topics that we talked about on the live stream since we started this. Let's talk about Freddie Gibbs getting beat up by Jim Jones.
What happened, man? Bro, I'm hearing something online about Freddie Gibbs and academics. They're going to be in a boxing match for some paper. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then the next thing I see is like he get into a fight with Jim Jones, and then he get his ass whooped. He lost, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? So apparently this had been going on for a few years now, right? I think it's some shit.
It's been like 10 years, more than that, 12.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's just basically just a bunch of street beef, a bunch of nigga beef, a bunch of that's I claim that, you can't claim that, or you know what I mean? Is it something? Can't Jim Jones like let it go after a while?
All right, so we all know Jim Jones. I'm gonna say it like this: his name is Jim Jones. I don't know. It's a lot of young motherfuckers in this world, so you might not know. But Jim Jones used back in the day, he was part of this shit called what they call Latter-day Saints, right?
Yeah. LDS, yeah, Latter-day Saints, yeah.
This dude, the guy, he was a pastor named Jim Jones. He took a whole bunch of people to South America and killed them with Kool-Aid. When people say, "Yo, don't drink the Kool-Aid," that's where that shit came from. It came from him poisoning a whole bunch of people. This guy took the moniker of that, and you think you should fuck with him? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. All right, so this one, I'm gonna be honest. This one, like all jokes aside, this is not Jim Jones' fault. This one is not his fault. This is him reacting to something.
Right. But it's my thing is, I understand. But if they so the story goes like Jim Jones saw Freddie Gibbs in a club, or not a club, in a restaurant. I think they were leaving out. Jim Jones and his crew was leaving out, and Freddie Gibbs was coming in, and a fight ensued. My question is, why can't you walk away? Like every time you see this nigga, it can't always be a fight, can it?
Nah, and I think they've seen each other before, but this is the thing though. Freddie Gibbs is wrong. I don't know what Jim Jones did to him because Freddie Gibbs never said it. But for my information, years ago, bro, when Freddie Gibbs had first got signed to Young Jeezy's record label, which I don't know what the fuck the name of that shit was. When he first got signed, for some particular reason, and I think it might have been just for promo, just for clout chasing, Freddie Gibbs made it his business to just diss everybody. And I mean, not like on songs, but just like be like, yeah, that nigga's a bitch. And he said that Jim Jones was pussy. And I don't think he knew Jim Jones. So supposedly, I don't know, but remember when Freddie Gibbs got shot in the ass in New York and Young Jeezy was laughing at him?
Yeah.
Because Young Jeezy told him, nigga, you keep talking about New York niggas, them New York niggas gonna pop your ass. And that's exactly what happened to him. Supposedly that was Jim Jones and his crew that did that, but there was never a confirmation of it. And then Freddie Gibbs got dropped from the label. He disappeared. He dissed Young Jeezy for years. Yo, I don't think that Freddie Gibbs is a good person.
Yeah.
I think he's a piece of shit. And I love Freddie Gibbs' music, but I really have a seeking. I don't know him personally, but from my interactions, it seems like he's like a troublemaker that can't really back it up. And he just says a lot of shit for clout. And that will get you fucked up out here. And I think that they just saw each other, supposedly per the report. You don't really know what's true, right? But supposedly per the report, Jim Jones and him saw each other. Jim Jones was like, yo, what's up, nigga? You saying all this bullshit. Freddie Gibbs, I guess, said whatever he said. somebody from Jim Jones' crew punched Freddie Gibbs in the jaw first, and then they just started tossing his ass. And per people that was there, you saw Freddie Gibbs getting thrown around like a rag doll. Why would that be? That's because Jim Jones is about 6'2", and he's about 230. You know, he's big. He's been big. He built his whole body up. He's big. I thought Freddie Gibbs was big, and then I recently saw him.
He's a skinny nigga.
He looks really sick. Like he looks like he's 120 pounds. Like he looked bad. He's got big ass head and like a small body. So he looked real fucked up. So I don't know what the fuck this nigga was doing. I don't know who the fuck he think he is. But you can't be going around saying this nigga's a pussy, this nigga's a bitch, this nigga's a hoe, and expect not to get fucked up. And I'm sorry, Wayne. I'm sorry, Wayne. This is a good lesson. You can't. I understand letting shit go, but this wasn't no shooting. This is a fist fight.
Right.
Why I gotta let it go in the fist fight? I don't have to let it go. Nobody got, he got fucked up, but nobody got hurt. You know what I mean? And then the first thing Freddie Gibbs come out with is like, oh, I might have lost this, but my lawyer is undefeated.
I saw that too.
Man, shut the. Now you look. See, now you look like a goofy. That's the reason why That's why you don't say shit like that.
So here's what I heard. Right, I heard that around a few years ago, maybe 7 or so years ago, Jim Jones. Do you remember when Jim Jones kind of had that whole vampire life?
Vamp life. Yep.
Vamp life. That whole vamp life. He had records and all that.
Albums. Right. Yep.
So with that, Jim Jones used to throw up like VL. I don't know the sign. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but he used to throw up VL for vamp life, right? Freddie Gibbs took offense to that because to him, VL stands for Vice Lords, and I guess that's what he's a part of from where he's from, right? Yep. So he went at Jim Jones like, yo, nigga, you ain't VL, you ain't, you're not real Vice Lords and shit, because he thought that, Jim Jones being kind of underhanded about it, like not coming out saying this is real.
Jim Jones is a
niggas.
Blood.
Right. So I think that's what got Freddie Gibbs so pissed off, and but still, man, it's just a sign. It's just a gang, not just a gang sign. I know a lot of people put a lot of stock into that stuff, right?
Not nobody that's listening to this right now, they don't.
Right. But I think Gibbs just got like pissed and it was like, yo, man, you don't represent that. I represent that. But that kind of goes back to what you're saying is he also wants to look tough and look like he stands for something so nobody else will fuck with him. But I also did some research. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an academics kind of guy, but I listened to some podcasts or some videos that Ack was on, and academics was bringing up some very good points as well. Ack said like he's not a real gangster, he's not a real this, but also he said that his father is a cop and his brother is a DA. Is that true?
Yeah, he is the one that was out. Supposedly he was the one that was outside, but like his family is actually well-to-do.
Yeah,
like he was just the one. I think he was just the one that was real like fucked up, like in terms of like his mental and like the way he wanted to make money and shit like that. And he always rapped and stuff, so he was always in that lifestyle. But like the rest of his family, nah. Like I think his sister's like a doctor.
Oh, word.
Like like they're not like. So it's just crazy just having a family just be like, yo, nigga, like this is the bad apple. Like it's Freddie Gibbs. But all the rest of them are not like that. But his family.
This is like on some 8 Mile shit. This is some 8 Mile shit where he's like, and Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. Like Freddie, man. Like you come from humble beginnings, bro. That's hilarious.
Get the fuck out. Love you. Bye. So anyway, I don't know what's wrong with that girl. Sorry. Interruption from the good old wife. She's doing some shit called immersion, which means for school, you got to immerse yourself into people's faces and down, like people with disabilities and stuff. So she's doing something. So
okay.
I'm going to be a little bit more quiet, but she can still,
you got to support her. She supports you, man. You know what I mean?
Barely. Anyway. Love you, baby. Don't kill me.
Yeah, I appreciate the support you get, man.
Word up. Don't kill me, honey. But nah, seriously, like, okay. So does that matter though that Freddie Gibbs' family ain't street? That don't mean he ain't
acting. Yeah, but he is when you're acting the way that he's acting. You know what I mean? It's your parents tried everything in their power to not lead you down that road, and it seemed like it worked for your sister. But you went into that life. It kind of seems like people who are in that life want to be opposite. And I think that's the issue with Freddie Gibbs. Is all this shit is true, his family being well to do. You're just pretty much going on the opposite of what your family is and what your family is doing. So that's not even real, I think, because even if it gets hectic or it gets real bad for you, when you get down bad, your family can lift you out. You know, like you can't go to the streets to help you out, and you can't go to, you know, a gang or a group or your friends or whoever to bail you out. You got your parents. Everybody's good. So no matter what you do, you could be bailed out. And that's not real gangster. That's not real hood, I don't think. You know, but I'm not a hood nigga either, man. You know?
So I would say I don't know about that because like I know a lot of motherfuckers that's from the projects, from the streets, and over time their family, became more well off to do. And I think that's how it was.
Okay.
They're all from Gary, Indiana. I don't know nobody that's like, from Gary, Indiana that's rich. Like Gary,
Right.
Indiana is one of the worst places in America in terms of like the poverty level. So they
Right.
probably came from like the bottom. He's the oldest. He was out there in the streets trying to make some money, and he made sure that his siblings didn't touch the streets. And that's the reason why they're like well-to-do citizens. That can easily be the case.
Okay.
What I feel about what DJ Academics is coming from is that DJ Academics actually all of this started is because he was defending Young Jeezy. Because Freddie Gibbs, when his album came out, I think it's called Bandana, or whatever one of what it was. When his album came out, one of his recent albums came out, and they still had that show that DJ Academics was on. DJ Academics was responding to a comment that Freddie Gibbs was like, "Yo, Freddie Gibbs said I'm more relevant than Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy's washed."
Hmm.
And DJ Academics said, "Nigga, Jeezy's always gonna be more relevant than you. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up."
Yes.
He's always going to be more relevant than you. Shut the fuck up. The only reason why you got a problem with him is because you didn't make it on his label and you got dropped.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they got beef is because
Yeah.
DJ Academic said that shit against Freddie Gibbs. That's it. It's nothing personal. It's all internet bullshit. And now they've been going back and forth, and they're gonna probably make some money with the boxing shit. But I feel personally like, yo, it does something to your talent, to your music when this shit keeps happening. Not only the way that you act, but the fact that it seems like you're an internet clown.
Right.
I
Kind of
can't
like YK Osiris, how he's been how
yeah,
he owe everybody money and shit. Yeah. So
and
nobody's
all of
really
that
gonna fuck with
bullshit.
his
Like,
music.
and
Yeah.
he's sitting there dancing, he looking all he giggly,
Mm-hmm.
these niggas and all that shit, like they his friends, like they give a fuck about him. He wearing fake Gucci sports jackets that nobody invented. Gucci even come out, was like, we didn't make that. Like, it just looks bad. You make yourself like goofy. And it's just like, yo, that's not like, I mean, this is supposed to be Gangsta Gibbs. I held him in a whole different light. And I'm not saying that he has to be like some gangster crazy killer. That's never what it was. But you would think that somebody that says he's a vice lord, that somebody that says that he used to sell keys and all this bullshit would have some type of like thought in his mind, like, you know what? Let me hit up Jim Jones and be like, hey, yo, bro, I'm in your city or whatever. Let me talk about that VL, nigga. You vice lord? And they be like, nah, nigga, that's from Vamp Life. I'm Vamp Life. We be like, oh, okay, all right, my G. One. Boom.
See, that still would have been a problem too. You couldn't even question a nigga like Jim Jones. I don't think.
I think you can have a conversation with him though. He's not like no killer goonie out here.
It depends on your echelon. I'm not saying like Jim Jones is like in a whole position or anything, but I mean he ain't no nigga to be fucked with. Yeah.
I mean, it's different. Like in terms of music wise, in terms of like, pedigree and all that stuff, it's different. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Jones is from a different era. He's been out since the 90s, bro. Like it's like this nigga's a vet. This nigga still makes music, and he's known because not only like loving hip hop and stuff, but just from him being known from fucking people up and shit.
And don't let Love and Hip Hop fool y'all either, man.
Oh, he was crazy.
That nigga was a fool on that shit.
Yeah. He was a fool on that, man. Remember when he dragged that nigga out the restaurant? He was like, yo, come here.
Yeah, come here, man.
Yeah. Nah, don't touch
my favorite line is like, do you think it was conducive for you to be saying this shit like that to me? Huh? Did you see the clip where they have like a producer that's always there, I guess, behind the camera, and they were at home, and Jim Jones was like, "Yo, man, why the fuck you keep bringing this nigga? I already told you I don't like this nigga, man. This nigga always he just sitting there like taking it because he can't go nowhere, nigga." So
What you
Jim Jones
gonna
like, I
do?
just word, man. And then they go, it was a clip scene. Of course, they took it out the actual episode, but that shit was hilarious, man. That shit
What
was
you gonna?
hilarious.
Ain't nothing you could do.
Mhm.
Ain't nothing you could do besides put your hands up, like, or take it there, because he's not that type of. He's just, in my opinion, I don't know really what niggas is about, but he just seems to me that he's just not about that bullshit. Like a
Yeah.
typical New York nigga. It's a they. I always say this about New York people. They're the nicest motherfuckers in the world if you're not their enemy.
Mm-hmm. That's yeah, I can see that.
But as soon
I
as
can
you
see
become
that.
their enemy, they're relentless, nigga. They're gonna be on your
Mhm.
ass for life, nigga. Like it's
But you
always
know
fuck you, nigga.
one thing about New Yorkers, man, is they do have that like automatic aggressive attitude that you
It's
always
a tough
gotta
place.
you have to kind of stop for a second. Cause every time like I talk to a New York nigga, I'd be like, yo, I want to say like, yo, who are you talking to? Why are you talking like that? But you gotta stop and just be like, that's just they kind of more aggressive, especially here in the South. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're a little bit more aggressive and they don't mean any harm by it. But if you try to test them on it, they'll take that as a test. And I'm like, no, bro, like you gotta understand, you in the South. Everybody kind of loves everybody for the most part. We go ask you how your day going and shit like that. And I understand New York is grittier, but my nigga, like, you can't be
Nigga,
mad at breakfast. You know what I mean?
if you walking around New York talking about, hey, how you doing, while people walking by, motherfuckers gonna think you like a weirdo. They're gonna think you got a disability or something. Like you
Mm-hmm.
special needs, I swear to God. Like you
Yeah.
can't be just like, hey, how you doing? They're gonna be like, fuck nigga. Keep it stepping, pussy. Fuck you talking about, goofy. They're gonna be like, like, damn, man. Like, nah, nigga, like you gotta keep it moving. That's a moving type city. That's
Yeah.
why, like, I don't know, man. It's like as soon as I get to New York, my whole mood changes, my whole vibe changes, the way I walk changes, the way I talk change. Is because you got to be solid there, nigga. Like you can't be like that. And I think Jim Jones is that's who he is, bro. Now I also know niggas from Gary, Indiana. It's a totally different vibe, but them motherfuckers are crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like this was just a bad situation for Freddie Gibbs. I have no idea what the fuck happened, but this is something that should have been talked about. And you calling a man a pussy, you can't just say that and then be like, you know what? When I see this motherfucker, I'm gonna act like nothing gonna happen. I'm gonna just say, hey, how you doing? My fault. Jim, you think Jim Jones that type of nigga? Jim's gonna be like, oh, it's your fault. Let's go on live right now. You say something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nigga, you can't be just like, oh, it's my fault. Nigga, are you crazy? Jim Jones, do you see what happened to him? He got tossed around like a rag doll. So, and I mean,
And that's another thing. Did Jim Jones throw punches or was it the crew?
I think that they just fucked him up. They said the crew was fighting, but I just feel like from what we heard, Jim Jones' crew fucked up that whole crew that Freddie Gibbs was with. And I
Yeah.
don't feel like Freddie Gibbs running around with a whole bunch of gangster niggas in Miami. That's, Jim Jones town. Jim Jones been living in Miami for years, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought New York there. Like his whole family lives there. Like his kids and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he got niggas there. That's where he primarily performs, is in Miami. Like Jim Jones is a Miami artist, bro. So he got a whole crew there. His whole ecosystem there. Man. More of the
Okay.
story
Let
is
me
watch
let
what
me
the fuck you say, man.
let me ask you about Gibbs and academics. I heard academics say he'll fight, he'll do the match, but he's not doing it unless he's getting a meal. So he said they can, whoever they can put up 250 for charity, but he's not doing it at a meal. And I think that's wonderful. That's a great idea. I'm not getting my ass kicked for charity. I agree with him on that. But he also said that Jim Jones fucked up his bag a little bit
Yep.
because if they already whooped Freddie Gibbs' ass, like nobody want to see Freddie Gibbs get his ass whooped again. Like nobody want to pay for that shit. So
I think a lot of people
do
hate
you
DJ Academics though. So they'll watch him
really?
get beat up. Yeah.
But here's the thing about Ack. I've watched a few videos from him. He talks a lot of shit just about rappers in general. He's like, rappers are dumb, they're pussy, they're just rappers, they can get their ass whooped like everybody. Like, why does he want to be the voice of hip hop when he just trashes everything that is hip hop?
I think it's the fact that when he first started, he was enamored by rappers
Mm-hmm.
because he was an actual DJ in college. He was
Okay.
enamored by rappers, dog. He was just like, oh my god, look at all the glitz and the glamour and all the women and all the drugs and they rapping, they all gangsters. He's not from that. And then he got richer than all the rappers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to like deal with them. And he noticed they just regular old broke niggas. Truthfully, bro, there's 10 rich rappers. And when I mean rich, I mean millionaires,
Right.
not Hove. You gotta remember, Nas was broke up until 5 years ago, nigga. Broke. Will Smith owed niggas money, tax people money. These
Yeah.
niggas be broke. They niggas live off credit, bro. They live off their name. How many rappers you know on Cameo right now, nigga? They live off of fucking endorsements, nigga. These niggas is broke. Like me and you have touched more money than most rappers in the world, bro. Dead ass. Dead ass, nigga. Our podcast make more money than most MCs right now, bro. No cap. Because we independent. We own our own shit. Most of these niggas is not. My whole point is, bro, is that once he saw that shit, he lost a lot of respect. Once he started being around rappers and he saw that they just regular old dudes that just know how to make music, popular music, he was like, oh, these niggas is puss. Why you think he talked to Meek Mills the way he talked to Meek? Because he know. That's why 6ix9ine got over for so long. Because 6ix9ine know that them niggas won't do shit. They won't do nothing, bro. Like, it's very rare. The crew niggas would do shit because they still on the street, but the MCs, man, they just entertainers, bro. As a rapper, unfortunately, you gotta have like this persona about you that you are like this the toughest nigga in the world. But man, that shit's cat, man. The
Yeah.
real niggas, the real tough niggas are the ones that's behind the rappers, or they either dead or in jail. Straight up, nigga. Straight up.
Gotcha.
That's just honest, bro. Like, I think that he just lost so much respect. And he knows the business. He knows the fact that, and he said it himself, he knows that he helped blow up a lot of the artists that's out there right now, bro. Certainly the young boys, because they'll pay to get on DJ Academic's page for him to post them. So you'll pay DJ Academics, not even him, but like, his company, $6,000-$7,000 to have DJ Academics post you on his Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or if you have enough bread, he'll even make a YouTube video about you. And he don't do a lot of YouTube videos no more. That's how much money that nigga got. He paid $4 million in cash for his house. He got all the stuff that all the rappers wish they had. DJ Academics got that shit.
But that nigga still look bummy as shit. I'm not saying he need to be like dressed in Versace.
So
or
does
no
Eminem.
Shit, but then, no, but Eminem, he got just a different vibe to him. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, Eminem is still white. Like, he may be a spitter, but he's still like a white boy trying to, blacken or act and dress black. You know what I mean? Like, that shit don't ever go over so well.
I mean, me personally, man, I just feel like, DJ Academics is media.
Yeah.
Media been around for a long time, bro, in hip hop. And I don't know why, but it's like black people, rappers, whoever, they always act like hip hop media is like the enemy. And sometimes, they gonna report what they report. Right. DJ Academics do it on a more funny tip because he's not a fucking reporter, but he is media. You know what I'm saying? He can destroy your whole fucking career. You see what he did to Meek? He fucked Meek up for a long time. So I'm just saying, like, DJ Academics, I don't really have a problem with that nigga. Like, I understand what's the whole point. And he was just smart enough to realize there was something missing. Because there's a lot more motherfuckers like DJ Academics than there is like rappers in the world. Straight up. A lot of niggas portray like they ain't puss, but 99% of the niggas in this world is puss. Because nobody want to go to jail. Nobody want to be in no fucking shootouts every day. Nobody want to live in poverty. Nobody want to be hustling fucking drugs. Like, even the niggas that hustle right now don't want to do that shit. So he understands that the music industry, certainly in hip hop, is all cap. It's the biggest piece of bullshit in the world.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It's all fake. It's all fake. Everybody, oh man, I do whoop whoop. Nigga, it's fake, nigga. Shut the fuck up. You don't be doing that shit. And the ones that do it, they get locked up. You see, like, oh boy, like the nigga that said I do the race, he was the realest rapper we had. That nigga in jail. That nigga still in jail. He ain't never getting out.
Mm.
So
Whoa, hold on. Who's that? You talking
10K,
about?
I think his name.
I remember. Yeah, okay.
See, he was real. And look where he at. You know what I mean? NBA young boy. He real. He just got out. That nigga was like, I'm not doing nothing else. I don't even want to do music no more. I ain't. NBA young boy said I ain't start getting in trouble really until I started doing music because he's so public now. Every time he do something, he get caught. So he could run around with drums and sticks and 50 pounds of weed. Nobody thought nothing about it because he was just a regular dude. But as soon as he got famous, now he always in trouble. Now his artist is getting shot at. Like King Von really wasn't like super duper famous. He just started getting famous. He was real. And you see what happened to him. So motherfuckers trying to go home, niggas trying to get their money and go home. Niggas is not trying to be the toughest motherfucker out here. The toughest niggas is the ones that's still in the street. That's actually about that life. And rappers are not about that life. They're not supposed to be. They're entertainers, bro.
Right.
So you keep acting like you is, you're gonna get beat the fuck up like Freddie Gibbs did. So try to tell you, bro. Watch what you're saying. Young Guru said that years ago, nigga. Cause
let me let me jump into something else before we get out of here, man. Let's spend a few minutes on let's talk about these student loans for a minute. You and I were talking about that for a little bit before we started the podcast, and I wanted to bring the conversation over just for a few minutes. We were having that debate where I got to preface this because people hear this and hear the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against the government giving us money or helping us out or doing whatever it is that can help us relieve our stress, especially after the past couple of years that we've had. I'm not against this in any kind of way. And let's take that, and I want you guys to remember that. I never ever thought that Biden and his administration would get rid of student loans. It's way too much money for America to just for all that shit just to be gone in an instant. I don't see that happening. I don't care how much money America has. I don't care how much money America has saved up or under their mattress or excuse me. I don't care about any of that.
Right.
It's $1 trillion, trillions of dollars that we owe in student loans, and they're not going to wipe that clean. Just off of monthly balances alone, America gets millions of dollars off of that every month. It's created for you to constantly have to pay it off within like the next 20 or 30 years, unless you just finally buckle down and say, you know what, I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to get a second job and I'll pay all these loans and all my credit. And I'm going to make sure everything is cool. You know, a lot of people don't have that willpower. I never thought for a second, or ability. Well, I'll say, willpower. Ability it's in there for a few certain people, but like I said, some people, like I said, you have to suck it up sometimes and maybe have to get a second or third job to really get rid of it if you're serious about it. I remember him saying one time, like, nope, I never said that. I never said that we fully get rid of student loans. I said that we would, maybe a couple thousand to relieve some stress. But I didn't even think that would happen either. When I voted for Biden, I knew that wasn't going to happen, man. It's just too much money that America would lose. And you're talking about wipe it clean, like gone? Nah, bro. America want their paper back. My thing is, I hate to be this guy, man. I really do. But we have to be more smarter when it comes to these student loans and when it comes to what you want to do when you go to college, or if you should go to college, or if you're smart enough to go to college, or if, like, what's your goal? Like, I know everybody wants to go to college and do, I've always wanted to be an actor or something like that. You spend like $100,000 trying to be an actor, and then you fucking work at Kroger. You know what I mean? It's a noble profession, but it's not what you went to school for. A lot of people went to school for something else, and they're getting jobs and doing something totally different to try to live their life. You didn't plan well. And then you still have to pay back those student loans that you have for the next 10 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I'm not saying that to put fault on anyone. I'm just saying we need to be smarter about this when we try to think of our lives. I don't believe college is something that you go into to try to find yourself, or it's not something. It's not an experience. We have to
Hmm.
understand that we're going to have to pay these things back. So I think a lot of it is our fault, our parents' fault for not planning properly. Also, they have some parents who weren't able to parent or to plan it properly. Excuse me. But as far as Biden goes and him canceling these student loans, I don't see it happening at all. Um, I also believe that the price of everything going up with groceries and gas, I believe that's more our fault than Biden's fault. I believe that because we're asking for more money. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't believe that every single job you have should be paid $15 an hour. Um,
Hmm.
I've always thought, even when I was younger, that that's something that you kind of work up to. And at a burger joint, for instance, I don't feel like you should be getting paid $15 an hour to flip burgers unless you own the place, or unless you're a manager or you're a general manager or you're a shift manager, something like that. I've always thought of those jobs as like teenage jobs, or secondary jobs that you may have to try to make ends meet. Now, there's this whole thing called the great, is it not recession? Is it recession?
Resignation.
Resignation. Thank you. So it seems like jobs are plentiful now. If you don't mind, working at a customer service, or like I said, in a food place, but I don't feel like, I don't know, man. I just don't feel like those jobs would be so comparable to like a higher end job. But on the flip side, I understand that work is work, and we all have bills to pay. And
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I hate to sound like that guy, but I feel like the price of everything going up is one of those things that we complained about. We finally got more money, but the price of everything is going up now because we have more money now. And also with the student loans, I never believed that Biden was ever going to get rid of him, regardless of what he said. Um, but what do you think about either of those things that I've spoken about?
I feel like everything that you said is like libertarian principles.
Okay.
Where it's like, so don't blame me for the job that you have and the amount that you get paid every hour, right?
Mhm.
You chose to do this job where it's menial work. So if you don't make a minute, I mean, you chose to do this job. So if you don't get a livable wage, that's on you. That's like a liberal principle or
I
libertarian
don't see.
principle.
I don't like that. And if that's how it sounded, then I want to take it all back. I don't want to sound like that.
Okay.
I don't want to
I
sound
mean,
like you're not
because
able to, or you're not good enough for it,
because
or it's your fault.
you said that you don't feel like certain jobs should get $15 an hour.
Right.
$15 an hour is not a livable wage technically, depending
Hmm.
on where you live, right? So if you live in any metropolitan city, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, New York, come on, $15 you can't do
Yeah.
shit with that,
No.
nigga. That's gas, nigga.
Hmm.
Um, LA, any of the cities where people actually want to live at, right? $15 an hour, $15 an hour is not a livable wage.
Yeah.
Now, if you live in like a wayward city or a highway pass through city, yeah, maybe. You know what I mean, but if your rent is like the average right now, which is $1,400 a month,
That's crazy.
you cannot make $15 an hour.
Right.
Imagine though if you're a single mom with kids, bro.
Hmm.
I know multiple people that got multiple jobs. I got multiple jobs. I know you looking for another gig just to have supplement extra income for like your business shits and shit you want to do, right?
Hmm.
And we own a business, so there's multiple things going on. I feel like that is libertarian shit. Just being honest. So about the student loan debt cancellation, even if it's relief, I feel like we should have relief because we have been put into this system from like the 80s into now. It's like, yo, the way is you go to high school, you graduate high school, right? If you
Hmm.
want to make more money, you go to college. Now, your parents didn't plan, they didn't have the means to do it, so you could take out student loans. You get the Pell Grant, which is going to help you a little bit, but you're getting student loans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those student loans and shit will help you get more money in the long run with like promotions, and the more education you have, the more you're able to compete for these high level jobs.
Right.
And it's supposed to be even, no matter what your creed or gender is. Well, we all know that's not the real world, right? I feel like the debt relief will help us with one major thing in America: minority people being able to have more opportunities at housing because we have a lower debt to income ratio.
Okay.
That's the reason why I wanted him to actually provide that to us, because we have most of the student debt, the minority communities, right? So since we have most of the student debt, it's a hindrance for us that when my sisters or my bro or my cousins that make that 1% type money, but they got so much student loans, they can't even buy a house in where they live. So
Right.
you can't live where you work and all of that shit, bro. All of that shit matters. And I understand that he said that he wasn't going to do it, blah, 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 whoop, de whoop. I understand that. But I look at like in this year, what has Biden done for the African American community? I don't think that's what I don't think that's even important in people's eyes. I feel like people are so impressed at the fact that the president is not having Twitter beef
Right.
with people. I feel like the fact that people are impressed that Biden is not going to North Korea having summits and shit, you know what I'm saying, for
Mm-hmm.
weird reasons. I feel like people feel like it's better that our president is not having all these issues with Russia and him possibly being a Russian agent. Like all of that stuff, the media shit that the media told us and the stuff that we had news reports about and what was on Twitter, I feel like that's what makes people secure about Biden. But there's a lot of other people that's sitting here like, hey man, what we gonna do next year, bro? Like what we planning? You know what I mean? Like what's coming up for like, the minority people? Because the tax cuts that was supposed to be coming up, remember he was supposed to tax the rich and all that fun stuff
Mm-hmm.
to pay for like the big infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
Damn, man, that tax plan still give them crazy ass credits to the super rich. So it's just tough. It's just like it seems like, no matter which side you vote for, we never really gonna get the things that the people are really want that can help us.
Right.
And it's disappointing that
But
I
it's
don't give,
always been that way, man.
and it has, bro. It has,
I feel
bro.
like everybody's wanted that change, but that's never happened. We are expecting too much. This generation expecting way too much. I think that's what it is. And this
Well,
generation expecting way too much, and
but it's been like this
they've
for like
never
the
been
past.
told no.
It's been like this though for since like it's been like this, bro, forever though. Like
Right.
if you look at historically, Nixon's been like this. Nixon had promises all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Clinton had promises to clean up the streets. What he did was that he made it tougher for black people to get out of jail, and he made crack cocaine be motherfucking. You had crack cocaine, you get 30, 40 years in jail.
Right.
But if you got cocaine, which more rich white people have in their possession, they get probation or they get 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So you saying you cleaning up the streets? No, you're saying that you're putting more African American and minority people in jail. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's why when we talked about our, upcoming episode about, being conservative, are you a closet conservative? If you really drill down to it, both sides are trash. And it doesn't seem like neither side is trying to help us. And I think what Charlemagne asked the president yesterday during his interview on his show,
Vice President.
Vice President,
Kamala.
she probably is president, who knows? Vice President, who runs the country, Joe Biden or Joe Manchin, it was just like you got mad. But if you think about it, man, money runs it. Influence runs this country.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck what position you got. We all know Joe is sleepy. He's older. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I mean? We all know Kamala Harris or Pete Buttigieg is probably gonna be our next president if Trump don't win again. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I mean? That nigga Joe Biden got 3 years left, and I don't see anything down the pipeline that he can get through Congress and the House that's going to help minority people. I don't. And it's really fucked up, dog. This is the most fucked up part, Wayne. Then, you go ahead. This is so fucked up. Trump did the most executive orders in U.S. history, right?
Okay.
He had about 15 executive orders for minority groups. Biden done one, and that was for the Asian American hate, bill.
Mm-hmm.
Sit on that.
I'm cool. No need to sit on that for me, man. Like I said,
And we have an African
I'm never one of those
American
people.
vice president.
True.
And
I'm
she's trying to push it through, and she's getting blocked, man. And that shit's trash, B. And they all the reports coming about that she ain't doing shit, and she's difficult, and she's angry. Come on, y'all. Don't do that to her. That's CNN reporting that shit. That's what really pissing me off. Don't call her no angry black woman.
Stop trying to find all the bad things wrong with CNN, bro. They're reporting that's just the news, man. Like you can't just hold back. If everybody is treating her that way, then that's the truth. So they have to put that out there,
I don't know if it's the truth, honestly, bro. I feel like they don't want her to win the presidency, like the Democratic Party.
Absolutely.
And I feel like they use the media as a tool to but you don't see shit about Pete, do you, bro? For example, Wayne, Pete went out on, I think he had 6-month leave because they adopted a child. But he's part of he's the one that's supposed to build the infrastructure bill, and he never did his job. Not saying that he ain't supposed to have time with his child or anything, but you took the job, then you dip off. If we do that, if me and you do that, Wayne, we're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get replaced.
Maybe not under this administration. Maybe not under this administration. We may get a little leeway if
I'm talking about at our jobs.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's done. It's done. Yeah.
You can't just start a job and be like, yo, I'm out. Nigga, you might not come back to the same job, nigga. You might be customer service, nigga. Fuck you talking about? I'm just saying. So I don't know, bro. I hope that he does. We have to hold him to task.
There's nothing to hold him to task about yet. That's the point. It's been his first year, man. You can't just flip everything over your first year. You got to be strategic about this. And that's what the vice president is for. In all honesty, I feel like the vice president does more work than the actual president. And especially in this administration, because like you said, Joe is sleepy. You know what I mean? So I do expect Kamala to be doing the majority of the work.
Yeah.
It takes time for these things to get through. And please keep it like you say, sit on that about the administrative, administrative services.
Executive orders basically surpass the House and the Congress. So, for example, the HBCU bill that Trump administration signed.
Did that really come from the heart, or was that something that he was just trying to do to make him look a lot less racist? And is that okay coming from him? Is that okay coming from him when he was the head of the whole January 6th thing?
Shit.
Yeah.
For one, that January 6th shit is really weird because it was like everybody was texting back and forth, and everybody's getting in trouble. Like people, like the Fox News anchors are getting in trouble. Like what are you?
Because everybody fucking knew. Everybody got the email. Everybody who's on the inside knew. This is those texts are kind of like when Kanye say he texted like Jay-Z and Virgil and everybody. I'm Richard and all y'all. Yeah, it's the same shit. Everybody knew. Everybody knows. This shit is just a hell of a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised.
It's like criminal. This shit could be criminal charges type shit. But anyway, so I would say this. It's like, when you make deals with the devil, right? Like if you make a deal with the devil, right? Damn, what are you doing? So it's a lot of like what's that girl? Pearl and Silk, them chicks that got their podcasts and stuff. They Trump supporters big time and all that crazy.
Yeah, the black women,
the black ladies. Yeah, they were there for the HBCU signing. The HBCU signing actually did something that has helped HBCUs. It gave them federal funding to keep the schools open because Howard University, bro, was having a problem staying open.
Yeah,
and it's like it makes sense because they tell us when you go for a job, like, oh, you went to Harvard. If you say, oh, I went to Howard, it just doesn't have the same, it just doesn't. I don't give a fuck what you say, but that has to do because these are white institutions. putting that money in, I know this sounds crazy, but it's kind of like, yo, I don't give a fuck. Like, you putting in $700 million into HBCUs are helping them rebuild because they had basic problems, Wayne. Like, they couldn't afford like iPads and shit for the students, bro. Like,
Now,
that's
here's the problem
bad.
with that. Here's the problem with that. While
Mhm.
you're over here saying, like, you're putting it in people's head, like, yes, our schools did need that money,
Yeah, we
and
did, man.
yes, and for our children, for our
Yeah,
children's children to still be able to go to those schools.
because so
But
they can
here's the thing.
exist.
Oh, so they can exist. So, but here's the thing: when it's coming from Trump, all he's doing
No, it's coming from the
is
devil.
is yes, is padding his future or
Yep.
some
Mhm.
other Republican's future who agrees with him when they're ready to run. And it'll be more of us who remember, well, hell,
He did help us and all that
Trump
stuff.
helped gave us 700 milli,
Yep.
and Biden didn't do anything but make the price of gas go up. So hell,
So
we're gonna vote for him the next go round. That's all
that's
that's happening. It's
that's
blood
true.
money, bro.
It's political maneuvering.
I don't. It's
Biden,
blood money. I don't care
it,
what you call it to make it sound cutesy.
I mean,
My
it's
nigga,
blood
it's
money
it's
that helped Jackson State be able to hire Deion Sanders. You might not think that matters, but that shit matters because if we don't have black people that go to black schools, then those schools fail,
I
bro.
feel you.
And
I
I
feel
understand where
you.
you're coming from, but my point is that was first year shit Trump did, second year shit Trump did. When I say hold Biden to task, we have to be active on social media. We have to be active with our local government to say, yo,
We have to be more angry at him than we are at Trump because he gave us 700 million to stay open. Is that what you're
kudos.
saying?
No, what I'm saying is that we need to talk to make sure that Biden knows what we want as a people, certainly as the minority group, because we have to just make sure that Kamala and them do their job. And I want all of those pressures that they put on Trump. I want the same pressures that they put on them in terms of helping the minority community, in terms of helping us get a living wage. That because they put Ice Cube went to talk to Trump just to get shit passed. Like
Right.
motherfuckers need to be doing the same thing with Biden. And I feel like Charlemagne the God is doing that. He is reaching out to them like, yo, bro, this is the stuff that we need in our communities to help us. What can we do
He's
about police reform?
right,
All
but
of that
he's doing
stuff.
it in a negative way. He's not doing it, and
No,
he's
he's just
doing it
asking
on like some.
questions.
No, but it's too comedic, and he think that he's being smart when he's really being a smart ass. And that's why I love Charlemagne to death. But that's one thing I've always hated about him. Like in these certain times, he always wants to be a smart ass, but he thinks he's being so smart, and he thinks he's speaking for the people. Just like when you said he was like, who's running the world? Is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
That's a
Like,
good
come on, man.
question.
You're he's being an asshole. There was a very much more professional way for him to get his point across than doing that instead of doing it on some Twitter shit. He asked the vice president a fucking Twitter question, and he's so proud of himself because he keeps it real. And that's his version of keeping it real. I'm like, no, man, there's another way to get your point across. Like, he could have just straight up said, like, yo, why don't y'all ask us what we want? There could have been a million and one ways he could have got his point across instead of trying to be an asshole about it.
But
Instead of trying to be
that's
Mr.
one
Funny
part of
Guy
that.
about it.
That's one part. First of all, it's his show. Second of all,
It
it's
doesn't
late
matter,
night
bro.
TV.
If it's your
He's supposed to
show,
be funny though. That's his whole thing.
but
So
this
why
is
would
an
you go on this
important
show if you know he's funny?
because this is an important matter, and people watch that show. So
Not
sometimes it's
really.
not always good to be funny. All right, well, all right,
Niggas don't really.
You go ahead.
Niggas don't really watch that show. Let's keep it a buck.
No,
Like, you
but
haven't
I
watched
mean,
that
for
show.
the people, yeah, I have, not religiously, but for the people that do watch the show, though, they can their minds may be switched. Like it's not always supposed to be a funny matter. Like we're supposed to be talking to them like, this is what we want. This is what we want reform. This is what we want, for you guys to work on. And he's taking it in a comedic route. Like sometimes I don't want him to be like Stephen Colbert. I want him to be that person that I know who's smart enough to be like, look, let me speak for my people, and not just always on some comedic shit because I, have late time TV.
But I'm
This was
saying,
an important
how
interview.
is that a bad question?
It was just irresponsible. It was
Why?
unprofessional. Because she's the vice president, and these are the times where you could sit down and say, hey, this is what my people are talking about. Just in case they don't see it, just in case they're just so busy that they don't pay attention to the Twitters or the social medias or whatever the hell, you know. But this is your time to like trying to turn the funny off and let's make this serious, because right now with Charlemagne having her on his show, he has a seat at the table. And last time we had a seat at the table, you had Steve Harvey, and people were like, oh man, why would Steve do this shit? And I'm like, yo, why the fuck not? You know, he's sitting down trying to get a seat at the table, trying to talk to these people. He's not trying to gang with them. He's trying to talk with them. And then you have someone like Ice Cube, who's created NWA, fuck the police, and he's trying to go sit down with Trump. And we see that shit, and it's like, oh man, he's trying to eat with the bad guy. I'm like, no, he's trying to yes, he's trying his best to see what we can get fixed. That's like Charlemagne, he's sitting down at the table, but he's being funny and comedic about it. Not right now, bro. Not right now. Let's.
Did you watch the whole interview?
For us, no. But speak for us, though. Speak for us.
I watched the whole interview, and he did speak for us most of the time. But him and Kamala do have a personal relationship. She have been on the Breakfast Club more than a motherfucker. I think she's been on the Breakfast Club more than Young Dolph. Rest in peace. Like, she was on that motherfucker a lot. Her and Pete Buttigieg was on there a lot. You know, and he even interviewed Biden. So I think that Charlemagne is in that inner circle big time. He's a big media person. So it's nothing for him to ask those questions. I do feel like that question from, you know, a vice president might be seen as, okay, that's a little taboo. Like, nigga, what are you doing? But I will say that it's a legit question, because I hate the fact that the Democratic Party always act like they're the party of the people, but it seems like they are really the party or the money. That shit gets on my nerves. So I don't give a fuck about what nobody think about Trump. I don't give a fuck what people have to say about, oh, Trump did all of this and Biden ain't do all of this. The only thing I care about is the results for the people. Can we please have something in place for medical marijuana throughout the federal government? Can we please have something in place when it comes to some type of way that we can work for better debt relief in terms of student loans, or change some type of like the banking regulations when it comes to the debt to income ratio? Can we please do a lot more about police reform, so we don't have this white lady crying on stage or crying at the courthouse and she about to get off? This
Kyle Rittenhouse crying. Look like just trying to dress up like a little old bitch too, man. Like nigga, nah, bro,
wasn't like that.
You bust caps. Yeah.
What I'm talking about?
You
nigga came up there this nigga came up there and said, oh yeah, I personally trained her. She definitely knew the difference between you could tell the weight difference. And she still go up there crying, talking about, I ain't mean to, whoop de whoop. But every time you go on Fox News, they don't say nothing about how this boy was a terrorist to the whole community. See what I'm saying? But then you go on CNN, they don't even report this shit about this crazy ass broad acting stupid on stage. On the at the courthouse. I say on stage because she was acting her motherfucking ass.
She was in a play, my nigga.
Yeah, for real. Like, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? This bitch deserves a Tony out this motherfucker.
Word.
So
man.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just like, I hate the fact that Democrats be like, yeah, man, we the party of the people. Well, motherfucker, right now you're in a perfect opportunity, because I don't know if we're going to have another Democratic president next time. If he don't snap. Like,
I don't think, see, that's the thing. Why does this guy need to snap in order for you to vote again? Like, my thing is I've never thought of it as voting for two evils. I always think, look, this is a movie to me. There's protagonist, there's an antagonist. You know what I mean? It's always like that to me. There's one good guy and there's one bad guy. Because I believe what I believe, I just believe like all Republicans are bad guys. It's just what I believe, right? So I do think Democrats are the party of the people. They try their best. They try their absolute best. No, they're not giving everybody everything that we want, you know. But I feel like they will work harder to save our lives than damage it. And I feel like the Republicans are working for a small group of people, not just white people. Not small group, a certain group of people. And it's not just white people. I think it's just people who are just well-to-do, people who are kind of self-motivated. You know, they started their own business.
Rich
you know,
niggas. That's all.
They
rich
did it.
People.
Not even rich
people.
No. It's because they're not. That's the problem. It's like they're not even always rich. Like I feel like in order to be a Republican, you need to make a certain amount of money. There's like some trailer park ass niggas out there who think that vote Republican is gonna get them on the map. Like, nah, nigga, you gonna be in that trailer forever. I'm more than sure. You know, but they just reach out to a certain group of people, and then Trump comes along, and he reaches out to the racist group who feel like they've been, you know, not heard. And that's my thing: is Democrats are of the people, the American people. Republicans is for a certain group. So I don't see how you don't see. I don't see how it's just like, oh, it's just a simple choice. Like, no, man, it's a lot bigger than that. It's a lot more major than that.
I feel like anytime that you have a definitive answer without looking at the facts is not proper behavior. So
Okay.
if I sit there and be like, I voted Democrat my entire life. All right. What's happened? Let's pay attention to see what's going on. Let's pay attention to the Clinton administration, because that's when I was first, like, you know, a child and started really looking at politics. Is when he was sitting there playing the saxophone, and that always fucked me up as a child. I asked my mom, like, are we voting for him because he could play instruments and he's cool? And my mom was like, no, but in comparison to the other guy that's in office, who's like, you know, more entertaining. I like Bill Clinton, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we like Bill,
and it's some black shit. Like, it's some black shit, you know.
Yeah,
For
like
a
Bill.
white guy who could play the saxophone, like,
Whoa.
we do like that shit.
It's like that white dude that come on the court,
Right?
that could ball. Every other
yeah.
nigga out here doing 360 dunks, tomahawking. This motherfucker shoot a three, and everybody like, oh, he could ball. So when I really started being able to vote, you know, when Bush came along, I was like, oh, this nigga's the devil. I said Bush was gonna bring back slavery, just like everybody else. I knew he was the devil. Well, I was kind of proven right because he was incompetent as a motherfucker, right? He was a moron. And it wasn't his fault, man. But he knew how to do one thing. He knew how to win, or basically pump fake and fake win. He knew how to get over. You know what I'm saying? He had enough influence to get over. And then we had Obama, and I voted for Obama straight up because of the color of his skin. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry. My fault. But I don't think it was my fault. I feel like I think Obama is the reason why I was able to go to college. Flat out. Because getting student loans became way easier. It wasn't like that when niggas is in office before. Right. I know a lot of people that went to school and had to drop out because they didn't have enough money because they couldn't get no help. But he made it easier, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm looking at the facts, and I'm looking at where we are as a Democratic Party right now. And I'm so proud that people held Trump to task. That's the reason why I don't think that motherfucker got in for a second term. People look past all the stuff that he did for all the communities out there. They was like, yo, this nigga's gonna end up causing World War III because he don't know how to shut the fuck up on Twitter. And that shit is important. Let's keep it a buck. That's the reason why niggas did not vote for him.
Just shut the fuck up, period, man.
If Trump didn't say shit on Twitter, bro, and didn't really talk like that, and if he said, yo, I denounced the guy that ran over all those people at the rally, I think Trump would still be our president. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because black people would be like, yeah, that nigga crazy. But, you know, we used to love Trump.
Yeah.
But now we got Biden. And the reason why most people voted for Biden is because he was not Trump. It wasn't because of what he said he was going to do. It wasn't because of Biden is a moderate person. He's always been. Biden is one of the niggas that was like, yo, lock up anybody that got a gun. I don't give a fuck what color they are. He's one of them niggas. He's a moderate. He didn't believe in abortion until it became popular to believe in abortion in the Democratic place. He's from my hometown. This nigga is a moderate person. And I'm just looking at the facts of what he's doing. So I just want him to do more. That's all. That's all. Because if I feel like he doesn't, we're going to have Trump again. Or even worse, the governor of Florida, Newsom. And y'all think Trump was bad. Okay. Watch a motherfucker that can do all the bad stuff, but also smile in your face and look cool about it. That's a dangerous motherfucker because you don't know he's the devil. So I'm trying to tell you, man, I feel where you're coming from. You don't want to be funny during these situations politically, but that is a good question. Like, who runs this country? We all know it's the money. It's not us. Even though we spend the money.
Then we already know.
We already know.
Like that could have been time asking or telling.
She ain't gonna
okay, I mean he shouldn't have asked it. We already know.
We already know. We know it's
Okay,
the money, bro.
there was a waste. It was a waste of a question.
Yeah. It was funny. That was like, oh, we got to cut off the interview. Like, she can answer the question. She answered it the appropriate way. I do like the fact that she get mad, though. I think that's just funny. Like, she turns up. She gets angry as shit sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
I like
fucking
that shit.
hilarious. Yeah. But Trump did the same thing. So I'm not mad at that neither. You know what I mean? Keeping it raw emotionally. But now I like to end it with this, bro. Colin Cowherd, I know I'm a big Colin Cowherd fan. It's ridiculous. But he said something. People no longer hold up political figures in this Masonic light anymore.
Right.
Trump fucked that up.
Yeah.
Biden was the last, Obama was the last president that we're ever probably going to have where we was like, yo, this is a president. He doesn't let shit get to him. When these motherfuckers is land-basing him in the media 24/7, both sides sometimes, right? Tearing him down. I remember CNN. He's too nice. Fox. He's too much of a bitch. He kept his cool. He kept it moving. He played his little basketball. He was nice with everybody. He was cordial. He was professional. He could talk. He was the idyllic man as a president, right? That's it. That's just done. We're going to get motherfuckers like Trump serving Burger King to the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That nigga.
Yeah. It just seemed like it was too. It just seemed like it was an impossible feat to be president, and now it seems like anybody can do it.
Yep. I feel like, bro, that, and I know this sounds crazy, but I think Kim Kardashian will be our president one time.
And that will be the year that I kill myself.
Please don't. Just leave the country. Remember Snoop Dogg said he was gonna leave the country if Trump won. He stayed his ass right here. Man, you can't just get in there. You can't just get into Canada. You lost your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
You go to Mexico though. Go ahead. Go down to Mexico.
Man, I try my feet at in Canada first before I go to Mexico. Shout out to Mexico though.
You gotta have a reason to get in that motherfucker to stay there. You have a real reason, nigga. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, that's it. Like, it's over. Like, Kanye West legitimately received votes during the presidential election. It's over, bro. It's over. That's just done. Now it's like, yo, we got to press every person that is in office to make serious change. Because it's like, we're about to get the bottom of the barrel. Like, Pete Buttigieg might be our next president, dead ass. Do you know anything that he runs on?
No.
You know what I'm saying? You know why he's gonna be our next president? Because he's a white man, is gay, and it seems nice for the country. It's progressive.
Okay. Yeah.
But what about he is like the worst president we ever had? He's a Democrat.
I don't think that anybody. I think we've already seen the worst president we ever had.
Nope. No. I don't think Trump was our. I don't think Trump was our worst president, and I don't think he is going to be our worst president. Believe it or not, for real, he wasn't, because we've had presidents that was really bad. You just got to look through history. Like George Washington was crazy. Don't get it fucked up. He didn't even want to be president. George Washington was forced to be president, basically. So we've had some real fucked up presidents. Van Buren was not a piece. He was a piece of shit. There's a lot of bad presidents, but we got a long time left on this earth, dog. I feel like we're going to have some real crazy niggas in office. So, all right, man. We're going to talk about Freddie Gibbs getting beat up. We talked about Urban Meyer
getting fired.
Finally getting fired. And then we capped it off with the best one, talking about crazy ass Biden and Kamala. If Kamala become president, it'll settle two groups. Should be African American and Indian. And Jamaican.
Indian. Okay.
Yeah. Jamaican too, right? Yeah.
Yo, hold up a second, man. Do you think, let's say Kamala did win, do you think Hillary Clinton would be pissed, bro?
Yes, she pissed now.
Yeah.
She's mad.
Yeah.
You saw her, she read her acceptance speech. She read her acceptance speech that she would have did if she won the presidency.
Oh, man.
She basically said, I did win, but whatever. Like, as a joke.
See, that's some mental health shit right there. She needs to go talk to someone. Yeah.
That's some loser.
Real shit. Yeah. Yes.
That's some loser shit.
She need to go talk to somebody, man, because she is hurt. She's hurt, bro.
She butt hurt. I'm backing up. Yo, Fox News. They're like, this bitch is crazy. And CNN didn't even report it. CNN was like, all right, man.
Right, because it's gonna fuck with her mental, man.
Yeah.
You keep reporting it like you're gonna see what everybody has to say about it, and it's gonna fuck with your mental, man. So I feel bad for her, and I hope she gets the help that she needs because she needs it.
Yeah, I she should run again. Fuck it, why not?
I think so too. I mean, come on. I just felt like her run was just too easy for her to win, and I don't think it was anything that she did or didn't do that made her lose. I just feel like you just kind of underestimated
Power
people's
people that
hate.
felt, yeah. I would say, I wouldn't even say, I mean, yeah, but I would say hate for the fact of them not being like they're heard. As a person that's traveled a lot of this country in a car, there's a lot of towns, bro, that you don't think of that just an oil refinery and like gas station and a McDonald's, my nigga. And there's people that live there. It might not be 10,000 people, it may be like 2,000 people, but those 2,000 people gonna fucking vote. And who the fuck you think they gonna vote for? The motherfucker that's sitting here talking to the Democratic Party, or the person that's talking about they needs, talking about we're gonna bring back coal mines,
Right.
nigga.
Right.
Coal mine, nigga.
And how are you gonna bring it back?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, what do you do to bring it back? Yeah.
We're gonna bring back trains? Or we gonna have more trains? We're gonna have more coal trains. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
I don't get it, man. You got to ask yourself these questions, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, fuck out here. But anyway, let's go ahead and end it off. Wayne, go ahead and send us out, my G.
All right, man. Thank you guys so very much for listening to another episode of the You Feel Me podcast live stream edition. Okay. Thank you guys so very much, man. You know, you can catch us on the live stream between 11:30 or 1 o'clock. We will
whenever we start,
we will jump on. Yeah, we will jump on. Yo, man, we got kids and lives and shit. We got to jump on. We will jump
Honestly,
on, man.
I had to get my hair cut, or I had to get shape up, so that's why I was late.
Cool, that's what's up, man. Either way,
that's
man, we got lives, bro. Yes,
yeah,
yes. You're on television per se. So, of course, you can listen to us every Friday. We drop a new episode every Friday at 11 a.m. On YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces. You Feel Me podcast. Type that in, man. We're the audio podcast is youfeelmepodcast.com. We have our own personal podcast where you can listen to our audio, this audio, and past audios. Also, you can find us anywhere your free podcasts are sold. We're on our Overcast. Please check us out on Overcast. Download that app. Look at us on there. We're on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music. We're on all of those, man. Like I said, anywhere your free podcasts are sold, jump on that. Any questions you may have for us, man, you can post them at questions at youfeelmepodcast.com. That's questions at youfeelmepodcast.com. We get those questions. We will read them out loud live on air, and we will answer them on air for you as well. Let me think. Twitter. You can find us on Twitter. We are at You Feel Me Pod. You Feel Me POD. Okay, please follow us on there. We be tripping and acting fool for you people. Also, man, please don't forget Jimmy B. Fearless, man. One of the greatest rappers in the world. One of the greatest rappers of all time. He has a great album out right now, Kobayashi. Stop sleeping on it. Stop sleeping on it. If you haven't listened to it, man, it is anywhere you can find your shit, I guess free albums if you pay for a subscription Spotify, every month, nigga. You got Apple Music or Spotify, man. Yeah, go listen to that shit. Kobayashi. It's a boom bap album. It's absolutely incredible, man. You know, we just got done talking about Freddie Gibbs, man. Nothing he's dropping is touching Kobayashi. That's right, I said it. Go listen to Kobayashi. It's great.
Word up.
If y'all want to buy some Kobayashi merch and also some You Feel Me merch, please go to BeFearlessMerch.com. That is B, letter B, Fearless merch.com. Get you one of these nice feel good hoodies. It's the podcast shorts. You know, he got a lot of other stuff on there, man. Y'all
35% off right now too. 35% off.
Right, 35% off. Be Fearless merch. BeFearlessMerch.com. Go on there, get you a nice little hoodie. Help your boy out. Help your boys out. What am I forgetting? Y'all please check out that R. Kelly episode. Is it okay to listen to R. Kelly that dropped yesterday? Y'all please watch that on YouTube, anywhere your free podcast or so. Overcast. Y'all let us know what you think. Drop some questions for us, man. Drop some in the comments, and we'll discuss it with you guys, man. Fearless, is there anything that I'm forgetting, man?
I just want to say thanks, Chica, for dropping us a comments for us today. She said we're very informative. We know our shit, so we appreciate that for real. And she said Bush, so I'm pretty sure she don't like that nigga. She think that nigga was a competent as a motherfucker, which he was. By the way, Bush now is a painter.
Yeah, he always was a painter. Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. He does some good art, man.
Yeah, that nigga's weird. Anyway, yeah, man.
Can't
That's
run
it
a
for
country,
this
but he
week,
can
man.
paint.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good. No.
yeah. He got it. I live right off his highway, right up the street. His highway,
A
right up
word?
the street from my house. Yeah, President George Bush Jr. or whatever, George W. Bush Highway is what it's called. And guess what?
Yep.
It's a tollway.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So we love y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining
Love
the
y'all.
podcast. Thank y'all for watching. We see y'all next week.
Peace, y'all. Thank y'all.
Peace.